What up, y'all? It's your man SamAnt here, Viral Hip Hop News, and we are live for another artist spotlight. God damn, it's been a long time since I've been live sitting behind this little backdrop I got going on here live with the people, man. It feels so good to be here with y'all. As you guys come in, make sure you drop your area codes. We definitely appreciate it. We definitely want to know where you're watching, where you're listening from. Love to shout y'all out as y'all do y'all thing. But we got a special guest in the building tonight. It's a good brother, a good friend of mine. Got to meet him a few years back. In unlikely circumstances, I wouldn't think that I would meet anybody in these kind of circumstances on an app, on social media, but I did. And the brother's absolutely amazing, and we got a good bond and forged a real dope friendship over the years, man. So I'm happy to have him on. Multi-platinum Grammy-nominated producer D Bottz is about to enter the building very, very soon. You guys buckle up for that because he's gonna give some dope information, and it's gonna be a good goddamn time. So, like I said, make sure that you drop the area codes in the building as you guys enter. Make sure you drop that in the chat. Let me know y'all listening. Let me know y'all watching. And we're going to get busy. Now, before I get started, let me let y'all know that this episode of Artist Spotlight is brought to you by sportstissuebox.com. As you can see, I'm a Commanders fan, and I ain't happy this motherfucking week. We lost a heartbreaker to the Eagles. I live in this Philadelphia area, so now I got to hear these people running their goddamn mouth, talking about they this, they that. They garbage. Yeah, I said it. I don't care if they beat us or not. They garbage. But anyway, sportstissuebox.com. Grab your team. He got MLB, NFL, NBA, NCAA. Customizes it, black owned, man. Brother's doing some great things. You can find that link in the description box. And also, if you like what you're hearing, if you like what you're watching, there's a thanks button right below the description box. It says thanks with a heart on it. Drop a thanks, drop a comment. I'll read them tonight on air live. And if I don't get to them live, I'll definitely make sure I shout you out on the next episode. But let's get busy, man. Let's bring on our brother D Bottz. What up, man?
What it do?
You can hear me good?
Yes, sir.
Good, man. I hear you clear too, man. How you feeling, brother? It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for about over a year now.
Yeah, almost 2 years, bro.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I'm alive and I'm well, so that's always good, you know.
Absolutely. For the people that are just getting introduced to you, I'm sure there's a couple people right now who know who D Bottz is, but for the people who will be entering the building, for the people who will be watching this on the replay, give the people a brief description of who you are.
Man, I'm just a youngster from H-Town, Texas, hailing on the north side, you know what I'm saying? Grew up in Cashmere Gardens, Acres Home, north side dweller, always claiming it. That's why you see every picture I got, I throw up the H. I represent it wherever I go. Man, I just love life. I love my kids. I love music, and I love food. You know what I'm saying? I love helping people. I've been blessed to do music for over 23 years, and man, it's just getting started on a lot of areas. So I'm just blessed, to be a blessing, man. So a youngster from H-Town, Texas, doing what he do, just using his God-given talent to try to make a difference in the world, brother.
Dope. Now let's talk about that God-given talent because, like you said, you're a producer, and you're more than a producer. You know what I'm saying? You're an artist. You're a coach. You guide through this music journey, and there's a lot that goes into music, not only from the music composition side, but the business side as well. And you like to kind of specialize in all areas. So just kind of take us back to the beginning of what introduced you to music. What kind of gave you that idea that this is something that I want to do full time for the rest of my life?
Well, like a lot of artists, producers, pretty much anybody who's in the music entertainment business, I was born into the music game. My dad was a quartet singer.
Okay.
My grandfather played the guitar, and both of my grandmothers played the organ and the piano. More so, my grandmother on my dad's side, she was the first musician who taught me anything. And so I started playing the drums when I was 4. Got my first drum set when I was 4. And I played drums up until I was about 16, 17. So I was just a drummer. I got to play with Kirk Franklin. I played with a couple of local church choirs and I played in middle school bands and high school. I was pretty dope as a drummer. And so I transitioned to keys. And when I graduated from high school, I got my first keyboard. And so I really started taking keys. I really started taking it serious. But the change when I realized I can do this music thing is when I got hired on at Guitar Center. Guitar Center literally changed the path of my life because when I went to Guitar Center, I was just a drummer and I was just a beginner in keys. And I left there, man, a producer, a sound engineer, a sound tech, a studio tech. I just learned. I learned. 3 years I was there, I learned so much at Guitar Center. So it literally, that's when I learned, like, okay, I could do this. Because I didn't know about production. I didn't know about. I was green. I was real green. I was, like I said, I was a musician. I was just a hungry musician who wanted to get hired at a store and just beat on drums and play keys all day because I was that hungry. And then once I got there and learned all the different things, how to set up a studio, how to set up a sound system, how to do this, how to learn this software, how to do this MPC, and how to do this Triton. I learned all that. It changed my life.
So, we often hear, and a lot of us grew up in the church, and a lot of us grew up listening to music in church, and that's how we ended up singing or playing instruments and things like that. But not all of us was good at that shit. Just because you grew up in the church and you like playing it don't mean you was good at it.
Fact.
You ended up being good at it. And you also said and alluded to how you had family that were singers, musicians, and various things like that. So would you say that your talents were hereditary, or would you say you kind of built up to being the musician you are? Obviously, Guitar Center made you who you are now, but the music and the gift, where would you attribute that coming from?
Well, I am a believer. So the Bible talks about gifts come without repentance, so I can't apologize for the musical gift I got. That was a gift from the man upstairs. That was a gift from God. So the gifting came, and then you have to, work on the talent part, because I could be a dope drummer, but if I never practice or I never study or I don't really, enhance my gift and make it a talent to where I could, be paid for it. So I think the gifting is definitely a gift from above, but the talent is hereditary. My dad, he toured for years with local and national and international. He actually went overseas a couple times with his quartet group. So that just, every time, and I'm the one child of my dad's mini litter that looks pretty much just like my dad. So like everybody sees me if I go to like a church function or something like that, and man, you look like your daddy. We sure miss him. Do you do quartet or da 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 da? So it's a little bit of both. It's definitely a little bit hereditary, and it's definitely a lot of gifting from upstairs.
Dope. Now let's talk about some of them lessons, because like you, I worked at Guitar Center too. Coming out of high school, I worked in a pro audio section, and I was a singer. I'm still a singer and love music, but came to a real harsh reality that I ain't know shit about pro audio. I ain't know about mixes. I ain't know about mics. I ain't know about pianos or Tritons. Back at the time, the Triton was real hot, and people coming in asking all these technical questions. Do you want this? I'm trying to get my, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to get the commission for the joint. But I had a brother named Mike Olson who I ended up working with later on down the line, who was an absolute wizard at all this stuff. And he taught me about engineering, and he taught me how production, and he taught me the ins and outs of how to plug the shit in and actually make it to working order. So did you have any influence in Guitar Center? Why would you attribute Guitar Center for really honing in on your specialty and turning you from a musician to a producer?
Well, first off, I always give a shout out to the man who hired me, because he took a chance on me. Bradley Johnson, man, when I tell you, this guy, like I said, I was just a hungry musician. I just wanted to go. I would go to Guitar Center from time to time, like most musicians, and just go bang on stuff, because it was, it's better. Their gear there was better than what I had at home.
Right.
So, I would do that, and I applied, and he hired me, and I'm gonna bring him back in this interview later on, because he has a very, very pivotal part of my life. But shout out to him for hiring me. And when I got there, I'm gonna tell you the story. I didn't know nothing. I'm kind of like you. Like I was a drummer who had just started playing keys, but they put me in keyboards and pro audio. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know really neither. But what I did take seriously, man, the one thing Guitar Center did at that time, they sent you to training.
Oh, wow.
They would send you to training. Like when the Korg Triton came out, like you say, it came out, I think, like 1999. Mm-hmm. They was like, hey, Davion, you want to sign up for this training? I'm like, yeah. So I signed up for this training. They give us a 8-hour day. They take us to this hotel, and we're in this hotel. We go in this room. It's like 10 Tritons set up at desks. And then there's a white guy. His name was Ed Proctor. Shout out to Ed Proctor. He was my Korg rep. And he sat up there for 8 hours and just taught us the board.
Damn.
He taught us in and out, how to do, song mode, how to sample. We learned everything. And so I took that knowledge, and then when people started coming in, I took what I learned and I would just apply it to them. So that's how, I ended up becoming, for 2 years, I was the top seller in Region 3, which is Texas. And anybody who worked at Guitar Center when I was there, they know I was. They hated me because we do contests, and I would look. I got all kind of plaques at my mom's house from. We used to have this thing. You remember? I don't know if y'all had it. It's called bone. Boning, pause, is when you make a sale or a day over $1,000 in gross profit. We call it GP. And I had so many plaques of just boning. Pause, because I learned that board, and shortly after the Triton came out, the Motif came out from Yamaha. Yep. They was like the two and so I went to training on that, and so from that I started I just shot off. Like that's a pause too. I just took off. I just took off because I just learned. I craved the knowledge, man. That's one thing I've always been. I've always been somebody I want to learn more, and so I started seeing my sales increase. Because I knew stuff. Because when I first got there, I ain't know nothing. People like, hey, what this board do? I don't know. You tell me. Right. Hey, what this sampler do? Shit, I don't know. You tell me. Right. Once I learned it and I got the confidence and the knowledge behind it, bro, I was killing at GC. I'm talking about, I won a Korg Triton in a contest. I won a TV. I won bikes. I won all kind of stuff with them sales. But I was able to influence a lot of people, and I met a lot of people working there. Because like I said, I worked there for 3 years. And Houston is a very high musical, traffic city. So right. I met everybody from Shaq to Scarface to, it's so many people. Jagged Edge came in there because the Guitar Center that I worked at was by the Galleria. Mm-hmm. And everybody knows the Gallo in Houston is like the spot. When you come to Houston and what's the spots, where I go shopping, you going to go to the Galleria. And if you into music, we literally was 5 minutes from the Galleria. So I'm sure they like, man, it's a GC right there you want to go through. So we would have all kind of country western stars. I met Carter Beauford from Dave Matthews Band, man. I met all kind of rock stars. I met all kind of people working at GC. So I was able to link and meet people. And I ended up becoming an assistant manager at the store. So I had to teach people. I had to teach them, a lot of stuff. So was able to, learn a lot and teach a lot while I was there.
When you kind of put it all together, because I like people, they can read the title, they see the poster, multi-platinum Grammy nominated producer, but you had to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So you have Guitar Center, you start really learning how to become a producer. Do you remember some of the first productions you had? How did that go, and kind of what really started you into getting into the production game?
Well, a lot of people, if they're tuning in, know the story. I was at Guitar Center talking about the Triton. I had went to training on the Triton, and probably maybe a month or two later, I was on lunch. I was actually on lunch break, and I was sitting down at the Triton. And the way we had it set up, like when you walk into the keyboard department, the Triton and the Motif was way in the back, so you had to go through all the other the peon pianos, the little home joints. And so I'm back there just learning. I'm calling it programming because that's what we learned what it was, putting it in song mode. So I'm back there doing like a little rap joint, and in walks Scarface from the Ghetto Boys. Scarface walks up to me. He said, hey, how much you want for that beat?
Damn.
And me being green, I'm like, huh? How much I what? What? Yeah, that beat, man. I'm working on an album. And I knew he was Scarface. I wasn't like starstruck or nothing because I just, I'm over there programming. And he's like, yeah, I need that, man. That's fine. I need that beat. And I'm like, I didn't know what to do. Right. Like I didn't know what to do. I was like, well, I don't know. I'm just working on, man, I'll give you $500 right now for that beat.
At that time. Yeah.
I say, let me go get this disc and save this beat. Now here came the next problem. The next problem was I didn't have a Korg Triton. I was using the one at the store. But when you worked there, they used to loan you the stuff. You could take it for 24 hours. So I told him, I said, hey, I can take this board and bring it to your house because I have to dump the beat. I don't have a way to get the beat to you right now. He's like, cool. He sent me his address. I texted him when I was on the way. We get there. Mind you, I learned the Korg Triton. I hadn't learned Pro Tools yet. Scarface did know Pro Tools, and my homeboy Big Time was there. He was very novice at Pro Tools. So I get there. I load up the beat, I load up the board, and we like just looking at each other. I was like, hey, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how to do this. And he looked at me and said, well, Bottz, I don't know how to do it either. He said, do you drink? I say, yeah. He said, I got some Hennessy. We're gonna drink this Hennessy and we're gonna figure out how to do it. Bro, it took us 4 hours to put this one beat in the computer. Nope. I kid you. It's this, but this is my face story that people and me and him talked. It was fun. We talked a couple of weeks ago and we just bust out loud. I say, bro, remember we was he's like, bro, we was struggling. I say, man, what would take me literally now 5 minutes took us 4 hours. But Face cool about it. He was really cool in it. So my first beat really sold was the Scarface. And so once I sold it to him, I tell people all the time, you know, a lot of producers have a learning curve. I really, and it's not bragging, I really didn't have it. Like my first joints I was doing was getting placed.
Right.
I needed to learn this. Well, I came from a drum background. So my drums on my tracks was always knocking. The drums was always good. I didn't know how to play like I can play now, but I could play well enough to make some rap stuff. You know, Houston rap was killing me, and they had just came off of, you know, Mind Playing Tricks on Me, and you know, Rap A Lot had just signed UTP and Big, all these different rappers. So I did that with Face, did that, and it didn't make the album because, you know, that was a lesson I learned right there. Just because you sell them a beat and you record the song and all that don't mean the song gonna be on the album. So I learned that too. But that's when I knew I could do it, because like my very first track is Sold to Scarface. My very first.
Right.
And so that's when I knew. I was like, okay, I'm not a programmer anymore. I'm not a musician anymore. I'm a producer.
You're a producer. I'm
not a beat maker, because if I would have let you hear a CD of my beats from like 2002, 2003, you're gonna be like, wow, Bottz. And people are blown away. Sometimes I get on Instagram and I go live and I be like, hey, I'm gonna play some throwback beats. And they're like, there's no way that's 15, 20 years ago. I'm like,
right.
It is, from the drums to the chord progressions to all them. Like, I ain't saying every beat was just golden, but majority of my stuff was, you know, top notch. It was competitive. So that's when I knew I had it, bro. And that was my very first beat. So to a A-lister, to Scarface. So shout out to the Brad Jordan, man. I love you. Made my first beat was $500 in my pocket.
Hit a home run on your first up to bat. Now, not many people could say that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Finding success. You said you were getting placements, like coming right out the jump. Not a lot of people can say that, but obviously we know this game also comes with its flaws too, and its trials and tribulations. So give us some situations or occurrences where you had to find perseverance in this game. You know what I'm saying? Where you had to kind of maybe got knocked down or knocked off a pedestal that you may have thought you were on, and kind of had to go, okay, let me regroup and get back to this shit, because I know I'm hot, but maybe they didn't think I was hot at the moment or at the time. Well,
I got to tell my Jermaine Dupri story.
Yes, sir.
The year is 2007, I believe. It was 2007, 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. It's after I had my real big breakout hit, Going Crazy from Natalie. Shout out to Natalie, T. Gray, my boy Moshe. We went to #1 worldwide. We had the #1 pop record for like 23 weeks on Billboard. We had the Hot Rising. We was #1 on all the charts. And so I had the big head, because I had been working around Houston. You know, I was at Swisher House. I was at Rap A Lot. I had, you know, I done Day Hell Broke Loose. I had got 0 placements, UTP. So I had I started smelling myself. So Jermaine Dupri was looking to sign some new producers. And I got the word from my boy B Cox. Shout out to B Cox. He had hit my boy Eddie Kane. He's like, yo, where's Bottz at? Like, you know, Bottz is kind of the man in the city in Houston right now. And I was like, he was like, man, tell him JD looking for some people, you know, he need to come out here. And so, you know, I hopped on a bird. I got my 7 hottest tracks. I'm feeling myself, because I'm like, you know, I got the #1 record in the world, and I'm making this money and da. So I fly out to ATL, and I go to So Def, and I remember I never forget, my appointment was 1 o'clock. I get there at 12:45 because, you know, I'm on time. I'm a timely person. And I didn't go get to see JD until like almost 2.
Damn.
I don't know if he was there in the back. I don't know if he had a back way in, but I go see him and he's like, man, I heard about you, da. Let me hear what you got. So, you know, I'm kind of cocky with mine, you know, and I put the CD in, and he starts playing it. He skips. He plays about 15 seconds. He skips. He played like 5 of my tracks for a total of maybe 40 seconds total. He ejects the CD. He hands it to me. He say, man, you got it. but you don't got it. Like, it's something you missing. He like, you got to work on something. He's like, you know, you need to get back to the drawing board. You need to work on it. So I ain't gonna lie, like the hood in me, because JD's about this big, want to slap the shit out of him right there. I ain't gonna even lie. Like, because, you know, how you gonna tell me I got the number? You know, I'm saying this in my head. Man, he kind of shitting on me and I got the number one, you know. But I took that, and everybody knows the story after that. I took that advice. I left Atlanta and I came to Houston, and for 3 months, I didn't sell no beats. People would hit me up. I'm like, no. I locked in the studio. When I got back, I actually went and bought me a new Phantom rack because I was like, okay, I need some more sounds. It's something different I got to do. And for 3 months, bro, I locked in the studio by myself. No sessions, didn't sell no beats. And I was just working. I was working on making my drums better. I practiced keys more. So I was like, man, I need to make my keys more dope. And he didn't say all this. This is what I'm telling myself. Like, I thought I was here, but I respect JD enough because here's the man, this so deaf. You know, when you get to Atlanta, there's a big old sign that say, welcome to my city, with the little so deaf kid with afro. Right. I can't argue with this man. This man has history. He's got hits. And, you know, I had to believe what he said. So I came back for 3 months. After them 3 months, the very first call I got was from Dollar Bill. Shout out to Dollar Bill. Dollar Bill was Maya's manager. Dollar Bill was Maya's manager. He said, hey, Maya's in the city, and she told me that she's looking for like the hottest producers in the city. And he said like 6-7 people said you need to hit Bottz. You need to hit Bottz. So I give Dollar a beat CD for Maya. And Maya had I think he told me she had just landed and she was on a long flight. But she asked, you like, hey, you got me some beats, you know, I'm ready to record, And Dollar plays on my CD. Dollar says that Maya didn't like none of the tracks.
Damn, for real?
But he said he knew Maya, and he said she was tired. So he said he took her to the room, he let her get a nice rest, and when they picked up the next day, she went to the gym, and after the gym, she said, hey, you got me some more beats. Dollar said he played the exact same CD, my CD first, because he was like, this shit banging. I don't know what you're talking about. This who you need to work with. And he said the first beat he played, Maya was like, I need that. Long story short, Maya ends up going to the studio. I wasn't even in town. Matter of fact, I had flew to Atlanta. I had a session out there. in Atlanta, and Dollar calls me. He said, hey, where you at? We at the studio. And I'm like, who is we? And he's like, Maya at the studio. No, he said, Maya got a studio session tonight, and she recording the 2 of your beats. I say, what? I said, Maya. He said, Maya. She got 2 of your beats. So I'm in ATL. I'm like, man, I'm finna go home. The session I was with was like a new up and coming artist. So I'm like, work with you, work with Grammy winning, award winning Maya.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be back. So I hop on the bird. I literally get to the studio. Maya's already recorded some of the song, and she's in the booth, and she does this run. We laugh at it now, but she wasn't laughing then. She does this run, and it was wrong. It was off. So I hit the talk back. I say, hey, that ain't how it go. And I sung the run to her. And like Maya was behind, you know, the pop filter, and she kind of like peeked over, like, who is you? You know, kind of like, who are you telling me? And then she did it, and she's like, oh, okay, that do fit. So she finished what she was doing. She come out the booth, and she's like, so who do I have the pleasure of who's in the, you know, correcting me while I'm in the booth? And I say, oh, I'm D Bottz. Bruh, this was a moment. You talk about moments in your career. Yeah. Maya start jumping up and down, bro. Oh my God, D Bottz, I love your beats. I'm so honored to work with you, bruh. If I had a tear that could have slid down my face, it would have slid down. And my boy Mike Moe was sitting there. He was like, boy, I know. He's like, I know your dick on hard the way. But that was how me and Maya met, and that was in 2007. And from there, you know, we done made some hits, a lot of hits. So those were my moments, man. Those are like pivotal moments, and I love sharing them because, you know, I went from JD, you know, telling me in my face I ain't ready, to locking in the lab, taking that advice, taking that critique, constructive criticism, which, you know, a lot of people now, me and you know, on Clubhouse, they call you haters. Right. Because you're really trying to help them. And no, I'm just trying to help. I don't know you. You know, I didn't say your mama was ugly or your wife fat. I said your music needs working on. Why are you taking it personal? And I didn't take it personal. But what I did do is I challenged myself and I locked in for 90 days. For 90 days, like I said, I didn't do no sessions, and I had sessions and I sent them to my boy Kojak. Shout out to Kojak. He knows that story. And I just told him, man, I'm working on me. I got to get better because I thought I was here and JD shot me down in here. True story. And then we can move on. The very next year, we go to the BET Awards. I go to the BET Awards. I go with my boy Eddie Kane. And there was this group he had called the Outsiders. We go to the BET Awards. We go to I think it was a Bow Wow and Sierra party. This is how I'm dating myself. This is when they was dating. And I'm at the party. And this tap comes on my shoulder. And who is it? It's JD. And I turn around. He's like, he couldn't remember my name, because I know he meets a lot of people. He's like, I know you. And I was like, yeah, I'm Bottz, da-da-da-da. You did the Mike Jones and the Swishahouse and da-da-da-da and the Maya. And I said, yeah. Oh, man, you took my advice. I said, I did. And I told him real briefly, I was like, yeah, I locked in. And, I appreciate you for, giving me that advice because, I had the big head. Had I not met with you, you probably couldn't tell me nothing. And I probably wouldn't, be where I am. But, and we chopped it up a little bit, toasted, and he went on by his way. I ain't seen him since. So that's my story because I wanted to, my feelings was a little hurt, but yeah. Because, like I said, I had the #1 song. Who are you telling me? But that story is definitely a part of my journey. And, I wouldn't be where I am without it. So shout out to Jermaine Dupri for that critique that changed my life.
And there's a ton of talented people. I know a ton of talented people. It's a talent pool like no other out here where I live. But they stop right at the story where you at. They get a hothead. You know what I'm saying? They get a little bit of notoriety. They start feeling themselves. And then somebody comes in that got a little more experience. They got a little more, a little more experience in the game. Tell them something. And because they feeling themselves and their ego's in the way, they allow that to all the blessing that person was trying to give them in the game they were trying to give them. It blocks them. And then they end up not reaching the potential they were supposed to meet because they didn't take that one integral piece of advice because their ego was in the way, because of their emotions were in the way. And that stops a lot of people. So salute to you for even humbling yourself, even though you were hot at the time, for even accepting that advice. Now, I've known you for a couple of years now, and I know that you really walk on a positive mindset. You're a positive brother. The glass is always half full shit. If it ain't half full, it's damn near to the top full. Whether it is or it's not, that's your mindset. So how did you get to that point in your life? Because as brothers, we all deal with shit. We deal with shit when we was kids. We deal with shit now. You know what I'm saying? But how do you find the mental fortitude to be able to push through, remain smiling, remain upbeat, remain positive, especially in this industry?
Well, one thing, my kids keep me grounded. When I wake up every morning, my dresser is a collage of my kids. Shout out to my kids. I love them. But before them, I went through, a traumatic, stress-filled situation. And I came out of it with a different mindset. And out of that, and around that time, I had a close friend of mine who passed away. And his mom came to us, because they didn't figure out how he passed away. We had to wait for the autopsy. He literally died in his sleep. And we end up meeting his mom, and she was like, you won't believe what? And I was like, what? They say he stressed himself to death, literally. And from that moment on, I was like, I refuse. Like, I think I was like 27 at the time, and he was the same age as me. No, he was like 2 years older than me. I was like, I refuse to let stress or situations take me out in my life. I just made that mindset up. And so from that day on, no matter what I face, no matter what challenges, no matter what situations, whether it's personal, whether it's business, I just believe as long as I'm still breathing at the end of the day and I can go to sleep and wake up, I'm still good.
Right.
I'm still good, no matter, because the same thing I faced took somebody out. The same thing I faced, somebody committed suicide. The same issue, I've come home to no lights before. I've come home to red notices. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my mindset changed because stressing about it's really not going to do nothing. if I got a flat tire, you know, and I wrote that in my book, you know, because I am an author. Shout out to the How to Live the Stress-Free Life book. I got more copies coming. If you want to get it, just hit my link on my bio on Instagram or Facebook, or just go to the website, meatbots.com. And I talk about it in there. I haven't had a stressful day in 20 years. And it's like people see me now and they're like, there's no way you're 46. And I'm like, yeah, they're like, you don't have gray hairs. You look like you're 25. You got the energy of I'm like, man, I choose not to stress. It's a choice. Yeah. No, you can't say that. No, yes, I can. And I give this example, and I open my book with this. I say, you got two kind of people in the world. You got two kind of people. You got person A, who wakes up in the morning, brushes their teeth, gets ready for work, in a good mood, and everything's fine. They open the garage, they see their tires on flat. And the first thing they do, they go to Facebook and Instagram. The devil is busy. Oh, Lord, I'm stressed. I ain't going to make it. Look, my day's starting. It's already hell. They done stressed out before, you know, they ain't figured out what to do. You got person B, same person, same situation. They go, you know, see that. Either they go get AAA or they change their tire and they off to work. No stress.
Right.
No getting on Instagram and Facebook wanting attention, because that's what people do, you know. Yep. Hey, that's what you want to do. But same situations, two different mindsets. And my quote from my book, everybody knows, is change your mindset, change your life. Well, I had to change my mindset. So, and I try to teach that. Does that mean I'm perfect? No. Yeah. But I do, you know, I do try to become a better person. And, you know, I have flaws. I got issues just like the next person. Ain't nobody, you know, perfect walking this earth but the man himself. So, but when it comes to positivity, I try to preach it to people because, man, after the pandemic, bro, people's minds is we see it, bro. We see the domestic violence. We see the killings. We see just suicide. We see all this, and I talk about it in my book because I did a whole chapter on statistics. I literally did a whole chapter just talking about what stress has done to people's lives and what it does to your body. Yeah. You know, people don't understand when you stress, you literally release toxins into your body from your brain waves. So you're poisoning you're self-poisoning yourself. How do I know? Because I did it. Yeah, I did it. I lost hair. My face, I broke out in acne. My skin was bad. I mean, I just, you know, and so I learned from that experience, and I want to share it with as many people as possible because the greatest will and the greatest power you have on this earth is your mind. It ain't, I don't care how strong we get in the gym, how much you can bench, how much you can squat. If your mind ain't shit, then, you know, it's for all for naught. Word. And so in this life, you have to be mentally strong. And I'm grateful every morning to wake up with a mentally strong mind, because I remember, I don't know if you grew up, you know, like I grew up, but I remember the old people in the church used to pray, said, thank God for waking me up in my right mind. Yep. I understand that as an adult now. Yeah, that's a fact. Because I've had times I woke up and I wasn't in my right mind. You know, my testimony is, people know I came from the streets. You know, I did some street activity. And so I would wake up not in my right mind. Let me just say that. Mm-hmm. So now at the stage of my life that I'm in, man, I'm just so grateful to be in a position of influence. You know, it's so many people that hit me daily, literally daily. They want my advice. They want consultation. Hey, can you help me with this? And I don't mind. I try to help as many people as I can. So 10, 15 years ago, I didn't have that mindset. Yeah. But the pandemic brought about a change in me, you know, and I didn't start my podcast until the pandemic. I didn't start, you know, the Cookout event till the year after pandemic. So, you know, it's a lot of things that the pandemic stirred up in me that I try to stir up in people. You know, so you know, as long as you breathing, bro, everything's gonna be all right. You know, we can't see it when we in it. When we in it, we can't see it. But once we come out of whatever situation we in, man, you'll realize, dang, Bottz was right. Yeah. I made it through. I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. And as long as you're alive, you know, you can change. Your energy helps people more than they know, whether they tell you or not. That positive energy, when it's around people, it can't help but to infect them as well. So keep doing that, brother. It's something. It's a superpower of yours, and it's helped me through many a days, whether you know that or not. And I appreciate you for that. So let's talk about the pandemic, because you brought it up often. And during the pandemic, you brought it up in your the last time you just spoke, but during the pandemic, an app was created called Clubhouse. Now, I was doing my viral hip hop news thing at the time. I was real heavy in the media,
things were starting to take off for me around the pandemic time. And then this app comes, supposed to be something where you can network and various things. And I'm like, man, fuck Clubhouse. I ain't getting on it. I don't want nothing to do with it. It's people just talking. I don't even know what they saying. F it. Leave me alone. So then about a year or so goes by, and my man was like, yo, bro, you need to get on Clubhouse. It's some networking going on in there, some dope things. I think you and your platform can find some benefits out of it. I said, all right, F it, let me get on there. And ended up meeting a couple people. Peep Game Play Lane. It was a house. Shout out to Money Train Love, Mike Jones, Andre. They kind of introduced me to D Bottz, Frostine, Aunt Jackie, and this house called Music Networking No Egos. And that's exactly what I was trying to do. Network. I ain't got an ego. I want to get with like-minded people, network. Got in there. It changed my life. Talk about the pandemic. You started your podcast, but you also got on Clubhouse, Music Networking No Egos, and everything that blossomed from there, bro.
Yeah, the pandemic, man, brought a lot of change for me. Like, and at the end of the pandemic, I had separated from my wife, so I was dealing with that. But I had one of my best friends for life, JoJo, Derek King, man. Shout out to JoJo. JoJo's kind of like my accountability partner. So we have this thing we do where we're accountable. And so I had met with him middle of 2020, like the pandemic was still going on. And he was like, what's your goals? We do this at the top of the year, and we in the middle of the year, we make sure we on track. We hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, shoes. I started my podcast, and I told him I had told him about this networking event. I was like, man, I want to do an event that helps people, learn and grow, because right before the pandemic, I had come back from Atlanta, and I had went to a writing camp, and the writing camp was horrible, man. These people was cussing these people out and making these people cry, and they didn't want to do music. And I'm like, that's not how you're supposed to act in the studio. Why would you come to the studio and be crying? So anyway, I had told him about that. Now this is middle of 2020. So the pandemic happens. I start my podcast takes off. Like it really takes off. Like the first day I announced I had a podcast, shoot, I had 77 people sign up.
Nice.
And mine is subscription based on Patreon. So, that was money. I had made like $700 without even doing one podcast.
Yes, sir.
Just so that was taking off. I had shut my studio down for a while during the pandemic because the world stopped. It wasn't worth getting sick and dying to make a beat. So I had shut that down, but I was still getting business. I was working off my laptop at the house, and then the beginning of Clubhouse. I joined Clubhouse. Matter of fact, my 3-year anniversary is next week.
Wow.
Clubhouse. I get on Clubhouse, and like most people, I didn't know. Matter of fact, I was like you. My homeboy Steve-O was renting my front room. He's one of my mentors. I worked with him at Rap-A-Lot and Mad Studios, and he was like, "Bottz, you need to get on Clubhouse, bro." And I'm like, Clubhouse? It sounds like something for kids.
Right.
I'm thinking of Clubhouse, that's kids. So he invited me in like August. And I'm like, man, I ain't doing that. So I come to the studio one day, and I hear these voices. And I'm like, who is that? He's like, oh, that's Just Blaze. Are you talking to Just Blaze? He's like, no, he on the room in Clubhouse. I told you. That day I downloaded Clubhouse.
Right, like, hold on.
I got on there. And so I'm like, shoot, I can sit. You mean I can talk to Just Blaze? That's one of the mentors. We look up to Just Blaze. So I get on Clubhouse. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just hopping room to room like most people did. At that time, Clubhouse was really wild. It was, man, you had phone bone rooms, you had gay rooms, you had the church room, you had all kind of crazy shit just going on Clubhouse. But I ended up finding my niche because me and Rothstein used to be, and my boy Fireman, shout out to Fireman, we used to be in his room, and Fireman used to shake Clubhouse up. We would be in his room from sun up to sundown, and we would listen to people sing and listen to people music. And that ended up being what launched me and Rothstein, because we would always be in there, but people would cuss, people would disrespect women, this and that. And I told him, I was like, man, I'm gonna start me a house where people ain't got to worry about that. And he's like, me too. So he started a house, and I started a house, and he was doing his thing. I was still coming his room. I was doing my thing. He was still coming my room. Along came Jackie toward the end of the year, And Jackie was like, man, well, while y'all doing y'all separate rooms, y'all need to just merge. Like, cause y'all good together. When y'all do it together, y'all need to just merge. So toward the end of 2020, that's what we did. We merged. That's when No Music, No Network, and No Egos was born, because it was so many egos on Clubhouse, so many egos. And I got into so many verbal matches with people because I'm like, I ain't got no ego. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help you critique music. You know what I'm saying? I got my plaques. I got my placements. I got my, I'm trying to help you get there. And so from then into 2020, 2021, we really start finding our niche in the room. Ralph would open and I would do the middle, and Jackie would close. And so it just started taking off, bro. We would literally have 300, 400, 500 people coming in there every day. And from that, of course, I started my event, which we'll talk about a little bit. But Clubhouse didn't. I'm not one of the people who can say Clubhouse changed my life, because I was already who I was before then. But it enhanced it. It brought me to people like you. It brought me to people like, I didn't know a Rothstein before Clubhouse. I didn't know a Jackie before Clubhouse. So I was able to meet them, and we bonded. That's fam. Whatever goes on, we still fam. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to, I love Ralph like a brother. I love Auntie. I'm the one who gave her the name Auntie Jackie.
Right.
Everybody knows she's had thousands of people call her that because of me. Because when she used to come in the room, they'd be like, man, you act like somebody Auntie. I say, matter of fact, I'm going to call you Auntie Jackie.
Auntie.
And from that day, that's what she was called. So from that, man, there's been so many relationships made from the Music Network and No Ego. So it has enhanced my life and my career. I've met some wonderful people there, but Clubhouse is changed a lot. And so a lot of people are kind of swaying away from it, including me, because it's just the upgrades and the new. I don't want to get on Clubhouse and have 10, 15 people send me voice texts. I don't even talk to you. Why? I don't like it. So I haven't really been on there, in the last month or so. But it brought me a lot of business. It brought me a lot of new networks and a lot of new relationships. So I'm grateful for Clubhouse, man. Because like you say, we were still in the pandemic, so nobody was working. I'm at the house. I remember I would wake up, go hit the gym, and get on Clubhouse. That's what I would do. I would sit on Clubhouse from 10 in the morning to 10 at night. I'm talking about all day. I would break to go get something to eat, but that's how we built these rooms. We built these networks. So Clubhouse, shout out to y'all. I hate y'all upgrade, but I love the app. So man, it changed a lot of things for me and brought me, into a different place in this business.
Yeah, you said it enhanced your life. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It changed my shit. And I would never think in a million years that walking into Clubhouse would change my life. But as soon as I found that room and I felt the energy in that room, I knew that was a place that I needed to be. I didn't even really maneuver too far outside of that, like on a couple other rooms here or there. But it was that room and that room primarily because I knew I had a goal and an objective. And let's kind of talk about what you were talking about with your event, because that kind of helped and assisted me and spawned me into some of the exceptional opportunities that I fell into in 2023. So you got this event, you got the shirt on. Let me sell you out real quick. It's called the Cookout, right? It's a music summit event, and it's so much more than that. But let's just start let's start at its inception. You had a music conference in Atlanta. You seen people, the vibe wasn't right. You got people crying and shit. You're like, nah, this ain't supposed to be happening at a summit. Let me start my own. And go ahead, the floor is yours.
So, I told you my accountability partner, JoJo, we meet at the beginning of 2021, I'm sorry. And because the way we always meet, his birthday's in January, my birthday's in January. So we talk, and JoJo at the beginning of 2020, he like, hey man, I want to start a quarterback camp. What you gonna do this year? And I'm like, I say, well, I got to get the studio back up and running, He say, what about this event you was talking about you want to do? I say, man, it's still the pandemic. Ain't nobody gonna come out to, what I'm thinking about. And man, it was funny because he checked me. Like he did the Martin thing. He stepped back and he kind of looked me up and down like, I know this ain't Bottz.
Right.
He's like, where my boy at? I'm like, what you talking about? He's like, bro, you encourage everybody to do whatever they do. And you sitting up here saying you can't do something.
Right.
And it pricked me. I was like, you know what, you're right. And so I had just got back from Atlanta from working with Jay Kane and Brittany J. So I knew a studio because I had been there twice. And I called Jay. I say, Jay, I'm thinking about this event, da-da-da-da-da. And if you know Jay Kane, you've met Jay Kane before. Yep. Jay Kane is a ball of energy and positivity. So I say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this event that, you know, we at the studio we was at. He's like, do it. That's all he said. He's like, do it. What you waiting on? He's like, I got your back. He literally said it. He said, I got your back, bro. And I met Jay Kane on Clubhouse. I met him on Clubhouse. Most people meet us and think like we've been knowing each other. No, I met him at the end of 2020. Wow. So I hit a couple people and I'm like, yo, I got this wild idea. I don't know what it's gonna do. I don't know, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, but I want to go to Atlanta. Let's meet up, you know, network, do a couple records and see where it goes. So true story. We flying, me, Bren, and my manager at the time, Megan, we're flying to Atlanta on Spirit. Yeah, now this is my only horror Spirit story. We leaving Houston and the plane like does a big drop. And we like, what the hell? And it does another drop. And the dude gets on the mic and say, hey, we're going back to Houston. We got door pressure problems. We can't climb.
Shit.
So I looked at Bren and Bren is already, she don't like to fly. So she was already she's nervous. And so when we got there, they landed, they gave us a drink and food like coupons. And so I looked at them, I say, maybe this is a sign. I say, maybe this is a sign we shouldn't be doing it. And Megan looked at me, oh, Bottz, this is your baby. You done. I had literally 10 to 15 people who had, you know, spent monies on tickets and rooms and all that. She's like, you can't back down now. So I tell you what, y'all can have mine. We all went to the bar and used our thing. We just got tipsy because I'm gonna have to be tipsy on this next flight. I ain't scared of flying. I fly a lot, but I never had that before. So we get to Atlanta and it's a vibe, bro. It's a vibe. Nobody knew what we were doing. I just knew I booked the studio. I knew of some talented people in the room and some talented producers, talented songwriters, and I wanted to see could we all network and make records. And from that event, the first record we ever cut at the Cookout was Titanic's Hustle. That was my first time meeting Titanic, and I was so impressed with her. I was like, hey, I got this beat. See what you could do with it. She did Hustle. The very next day, no, we did another song. We did a song we was trying to get placed for Chris Brown, and it was LaJuan, and I think Brittany J did the writing on it, I believe. So the next day, we did the pull-up song, Miss Delilah, and it was the ultimate cookout experience, what I envisioned it to be, because me and her were working together, but with the song that we had to that beat, she wanted to change it. And so we in Atlanta, she's like, hey, I want to work on this song. Is it cool? And I was like, you know, if you want to get the studio time, da-da-da. So she does. And we literally had 5 people work on that song for like 4 hours. It was 5 writers. And so it was just a collaborative effort. And I saw that happen. And I was like, that's dope. Like, that's dope. She didn't have this record before we got here, and that's dope. So we leave Atlanta. Everybody gets back to their respective homes because it wasn't just people from Houston. We had people from everywhere coming in there. So they all hit me. Literally, everybody hits me like, when's the next one? I'm like, next what? When's the next? Because it's not called the Cookout yet. I called it a jam session. My flyer said the Atlanta jam session. Come to the studio and have a jam session with us. That's what it was called. So we get home and everybody's like, when the next one? And I say, y'all really want to do another one? They're like, yeah. They say, when? They say, this your thing, when you want us to go. Yeah. So I said, okay. That was in February of 2021. I said, okay, well, let's go to LA, because I knew I had a spot in LA because I had been working in LA.
Right.
And this is what changed the whole trajectory of the Cookout. We named it the Cookout before LA. I had my t-shirts. Brendolyn had made me some t-shirts. She had made me this logo. And when we got to LA, bro, we did 3 days. We learned 2 things. First of all, we flew in on Wednesday and had sessions that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. First thing we learned is to never fly in on the day of the Cookout. Right. That was the first lesson. Second lesson, don't do 3 days in the studio. Because we go from 6 to 2.
Right, you're going to burn out.
Bruh, by Friday,
yeah.
when we all know, really by Saturday, when everybody was leaving, everybody was so drained. Because people think like yeah, the studio's fun and this and that. And that. No, it's work when you working.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a computer for 24 hours.
Right.
8 consecutive. So, but what I also learned, the third thing was I think 113 people showed up.
Wow.
LA, the second one was the biggest crowd at that moment. And I was like, hey, damn, I'm on to something.
Yeah.
And it was several people who came to that like, Bottz, this was amazing. Like you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. And so from there, I had a change in management because my management just wasn't able to keep up with the demand. And so I had, Catrice come in and she started doing she took it to another level. So shout out to her for her, she came in and did what she did. She changed a lot of admin stuff and bro, we just took off. Every other month we was somewhere. Every other month we was here. And from those events, we did do an album. We did our first album, which is officially gold and trending toward platinum. So shout out to the Cookout album, everybody that's on that volume 1. We made a mixtape last year. We did that, and we dropped the Cookout album volume 2 earlier this year. And the numbers on that are doing real good. So we're able to just network, put people in position to learn. We like you say, it started as a music conference.
Right.
That's all we did. But since then, we've had classes on acting. We've had classes on publishing. We've had classes on content. We've had classes on digital currency because I'm trying to equip these independent artists for the future because the game is going toward the independence. Yeah. We see this. It's 3 to 5 years from now. I'd be surprised if it's any majors.
Right.
It's only 3 left now. 10 years ago, it was like 15.
15, yeah.
I give the statistics about the Grammys. 3 years ago at the Grammys, it was only 26% of the nominees were independent artists. 26%. This year alone, it was 63%.
Look at that.
It's doubled. It's doubled, and it's trending upward. So next year, you might be at 70, and the year after that, you might be at 80. So if you're an independent, everybody's still, I want a deal. You don't need a deal for what?
Word.
What? Word. These independents are out here eating and surviving and living good. Once you learn about publishing, once you learn about digital currency, once you learn about content, once you learn about that. So the Cookout is officially an entertainment summit. It's not just music anymore. We graduated last year when we started we graduated this year because we have classes on production. We have classes on songwriting. It's just taking off, bro. And I sit back like a proud father when I see what brings me the most joy is after every Cookout, there's 5 or 6 people in my DM or texting me or calling me and just telling me how it changed their lives or how they learned or how they linked with this person. They changed. And it's so much networking and relationships going on. And it's a blessing, man, because, nobody makes a bigger investment in the Cookout than me. I pay for this out of my own pocket.
Right.
But I see the investment paying off with the people. Like you said, you wouldn't have known Ali until you met him in Carolina.
That's a fact.
And we know where that went. In a couple months, we're gonna really be able to celebrate that.
Bro.
But that's what the Cookout is. The Cookout is nobody is doing what I'm doing.
No.
I don't even like to say nobody's doing what we're doing because it's a team. Yeah. My sister's my assistant. I worry her, and she takes care of the admin side because I can take care of the Braun, the booking the studios, but she takes care of all of that. It's a team effort. We got Jay Kane, we got Delilah, we got Corey, we got Bren, we got you, we got Crown, we got Ali, we got all these people who every part they know their parts. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can run the Cookout by myself, but it's a team. And it's more than a team, it's a family. It's like a big reunion.
And thank you. Not to cut you off, bro, but I was about to say you missed one thing about the Cookout. It's a damn family reunion because you go in there and we eating together, we drinking together, we laughing together, we fellowshipping together when we ain't got nothing going on. I'm closer to more people that I met at that Cookout than I am to some of my friends that I've known for 20 and 30 years. One, because we like-minded. We out here trying to do the same shit, and it's genuine people. So, man, like when I tell you, people, it is life-changing. I went to the first one in 2022 in Charlotte, and I'm a loner. I ain't even going to hold you. I can get behind a microphone. I could do this. God gave me the gift to be able to do this kind of stuff. But at heart, I'm a loner. I'll leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
First got there to Charlotte. I'm sitting there, I'm vibing out, I'm chilling. I see another loner. Here come Ali. So me and Ali start chopping it up.
He definitely a loner.
You know what I'm saying? He in the corner. I'm like, word, I like this corner shit. Let's talk. Then me and you start chopping it up. You know what I mean? You hear me outside talking to my son. We realize we both fathers. We got things in common. And from there, man, it sparked something that it was absolutely life-changing. Like you said, in 2023, I've achieved more as far as my career is concerned than I ever have in any other year. And I have to attribute it to Music Networking, No Egos, and that goddamn Cookout, bro. And I thank you for that, man. I thank you for that.
Like I say, I'm blessed to be a blessing to others, man. I've done this music thing and in entertainment business at its highest level. And so it ain't all I got left to do is win a Grammy. That's my achievement. I've been nominated 4 times. Once I win, you can't tell me shit. I mean, I'm still trying. I'm going to win. I'm like Denzel. I'm going to win. I'm going to win.
Would it make it sweeter when you win as an independent as opposed to sitting in the label?
Definitely. Yeah. But here's the thing. When the first Cookout album came out, I do have great relationships with labels. I still got Bruce Carbone over at Def Jam and Eddie Glock. I still got a lot of great relationships that I've been blessed to have. And so I sent them the album. I had 2 majors want to pick the album up.
Wow.
And I told them no. I was like, if I give you the album, I'm going against everything I preach.
Right.
Because one wanted to put 1.5 behind the album in promo, streams, product, merch, all that. And I said, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can't do it because this is is by independence for independence.
Right.
And I'm showing y'all, we went gold. It ain't no independent collaboration album. Rob looked it up. There's no album in the history that went gold streaming in the last period.
Independent collaboration. Y'all the first one and the only one.
We the only.
Wow. That's crazy.
The only one.
That's crazy.
And so when we go platinum, I'm gonna go crazy. Because I'm showing, this is how you maneuver. You build a family. This is what we're doing. We build one big conglomerate. You need PR, we got PR. You need acting, we got acting. You need podcasts, we got podcast. Now we got a photographer. You was able to experience. I added that layer. That was and I told him, I say, you got to be at every Cookout, bro. Because you added an element that just changed the whole game. People can get professional photos now. So yes, Jersey was the biggest and best Cookout we had. Because it was so many elements. It was just a room of just 10 rooms of just productivity and creativity, and it blew my mind. So, yeah, I'm excited for Vegas, bro, because Vegas is coming up.
Y'all know I love y'all because I live in Jersey, and I ain't never been to Newark as many times I've been to motherfucking Newark in August.
When you told me you drove 2 hours, I say, wait, you drove 2 hours. He ain't got to drive 2 hours back. You like, yeah. That's love.
Love, man. Yeah. And I just understood. I understood the assignment. You couldn't. Like I said, when I went to Charlotte, it was absolutely amazing. When I went to Houston, that shit was a movie. And then, you know what I'm saying? Newark is sitting right up here. I was like, I got to see I don't get to see y'all much. I got to see y'all. I got a fellowship. I had some business to take care of. So it was like, yo, anytime you got a Cookout, I'm trying to do everything I got to do to make sure I'm there. You talked about Las Vegas. It's the next run. It's the last run this year.
Yeah.
Talk about what we can expect from Las Vegas. If people are watching or if people are going to watch this and they're an artist and they're vibing on what you're saying and they're curious about it, let the people know what they can expect, bro.
Well, Vegas is going to, I always have surprises, so I can't give away everything, but Vegas is going to have the usual Cookout vibes. The one thing, I have a schedule because I did work at Guitar Center and before then I worked 9 to 5. So I bring a lot of corporate corporate things into my event. And so what I learned in corporate is people like to meet people around food.
Facts.
They love to they may not like the person, but they may like the food, and so they'll be bearable with the person. So my event is strategic. So most people know that it starts on Wednesday night. Wherever city we in, fly in on Wednesday. We have a meet and greet. We have a meet and greet. The meet and greet purpose is to meet people that you don't know.
Yep.
Now, some people know each other. That's like the reunion. You catch up. But that's intentional. I'm intentional about it. So in Vegas, we're having a meet and greet on the strip. We got this strip party planned. So you can definitely plan. If you've never been to Vegas, you might want to go and get your tickets. Click the link and get your ticket, because we're gonna have we got certain places we got to hit at certain times, and certain places we're gonna snack and eat and drink. It's gonna be fun. You know, my sister and I are putting this together, so she's on it. So that's Wednesday night. Wednesday night is always a meet and greet. We're gonna do something where you can introduce yourself to people that you don't know. And then Thursday morning we have a brunch. Again, people like to meet people over food. Yep. So we have a brunch. We're going to be at Hash House of Go-Go. If you've never eaten at Hash House of Go-Go, you in for a treat. Like nice. Oh my God, I've eaten there a lot. So it's going to be off the chain. That's going to be the brunch. And I do that intentionally because Thursday night is when we start the studio. We're going to be at Studio 1920. Very dope situation, state of the art. You know, I don't go to Bobo in them studio. You know what I'm saying? I definitely put people in studios that are top notch. I've done my research. I've looked at the reviews. And so we'll be at Studio 1920 Thursday night. And when you get there, you're going to see the people who you went to meet and greet with. You're going to see the people who you went to brunch with. And now you've built what we call the white people word, rapport. You know, we've built rapport. You know them now. It's much easier to work on a record with somebody you kind of built a little rapport with. Oh, I saw you earlier. Now, because usually when you get to the studio and you don't know nobody, you look like a deer in headlights. Everybody's just sitting there because they don't know each other. But I've been intentional introducing you to these people. So when you get there on Thursday, you can meet them. So we're going to have the classes. We're going to have a songwriting class. We're going to have a production class. If you are a songwriter and you want to take your songwriting to the next level, we do have songwriters teaching you that. We do have a producer who's going to be teaching the producer's class, what it is to be a producer. What's the difference between a producer and a beat maker? Because there is a difference. It's a big difference. I don't know. I haven't talked with Lou. Lou does our publishing and copyright class. I don't know if he's coming. I need to kind of check and see. Yeah. But we have that. And then we also have our digital currency class, a class that teaches you how to make money online. So you can fund this independent career because money, you need money to be independent. So you can and other than that, you know, the food's gonna be good. Bottz is always gonna take, including the vegans. I make sure I take care of y'all. Yes, sir. And my sister's the bartender, so the drinks are gonna be wonderful. So it's some of the same old with a couple of new surprises. I got 2 other surprises I can't tell yet because they are surprises. But Vegas is gonna be a vibe. It is the last one of the year, so we're taking the year out with a bang. Also, we will be releasing the second edition of our mixtape in Vegas. I'm calling it the Cook Tape 2023. So it's dropping that Friday, November 10th. So November 8th, 9th, and 10th, we'll be in Vegas doing the last edition of the Cookout this year. And then we'll be taking a couple months break, and we ramping back up for Atlanta in February.
That's right around, November, we say 8th, 9th, and 10th. That's right around the corner. Dang.
Yeah. It's 36 days away. Counting, no, 37. I'm counting.
I got to make a couple dollars. I told my wife, man, I'm trying to go to Vegas. She's like, well, you got to make some money. I was like, I know, I'm trying. I'm working on it now.
The crazy part is from Houston, like my flight was only $75 round trip.
Shit. It ain't that. I mean, I guess I got to look.
It's Spirit. You know, I'm on Spirit. I'm not Spirit, but I didn't say like $300 this year and then I'm free to fly about the country. I'd be moving.
Take you to the same fucking spots as any other aircraft do.
Shit. Thank you. It's the same way. And now they got Wi-Fi, so you can't complain. Oh, I can't entertainment. Look, download you a couple of films on Netflix and sit your ass in that seat and get to where you got to go. It's a flight. Yeah. It's not a bus, it's not a train, it's a flight. Shut up. And, you know, people think I'm balling because I'm always gone. I'm like, I'm on Spirit. I haven't paid over $100 all year for a flight.
That's smart. That's what on a budget, working with brain shit. I got a Spirit airport that 10 miles down the road that'll take me anywhere. So.
Pay that $59, become a Spirit member.
Yeah.
Because they will give you different prices than the ones you see online. They get you that saver, whatever it's called, super save, whatever it's called. I have saved, when I looked and booked my ticket, I have saved to this date $384 this year alone.
Wow.
On flights. So I'm Team Spirit.
Hey, Spirit hearing this, y'all want to drop a deal or a promo code or something for us? You know what I mean, you can follow Bottz on his Instagram, and you can holler at me right here on Viral Hip Hop News, give me these free plugs and shit.
Look, give me. I went viral on Facebook talking about Spirit.
You hear that? Get that brother something, a discount code or some shit. Let's go. We got D Bottz in the building. Viral Hip Hop News. We are live artist spotlight, man. Had a dope conversation with him. And we about to hit the road, man. I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. I know you got some work going on. I got my baby about to go to sleep. But before we get up out of here, man, it's been an honor. It's not his first time on the platform. He was on a couple months ago talking all things Houston when Zero and Trader Truth had their little drama. We was kind of talking a little more, talking about that, but giving you a little more insight of what's going on with the climate of Houston. So if y'all want to check that out, please do. I got a great response, a great vibe. So me and Bottz be doing the damn thing, man. This won't be his last time on the show. Can't wait to be on his podcast. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I'm invited on there, can't wait to go and tell my story. But yeah, brother, anything else you got for the people you want to drop before we get up out of here, man? The floor is yours. I appreciate your time.
Man, that's it, man. I appreciate you. It's a long time coming. We've been talking about this for a year and a half. And
yes, sir.
Tap in with me on Instagram. I'm about to kick off my TikTok thing. Me and Sam was talking about that today. I'm about to, do some different things, man. I want to finish the year strong. So I got the mixtape. We got the Cookout, and just stay locked in with Bottz because I'm always doing something, man. So
let them know where they can find you on socials.
I'm on IG D Bottz. You beating DBOTTZ. YOUBEATIN. I'm on Facebook, just my name. Now I don't do a lot on Facebook. Just look up Bottz, BOTTS. And my studio's on there. And the Cookout. You can go to www.thecookout.com. www.thecookout.com to keep up with the Cookout. We got some renovations on the website right now to make sure people are going to be able to get merch. You'll be able to get info. You'll be able to get deals. You'll be able to get all that. We are taking the Cookout to the next level for 2024. So hopefully y'all will come on through and get your issue and get on these records and get you some plaques and get you some spins and get you some money.
Yes, sir. Cookout 2023, Las Vegas, November 8th, 9th, and 10th. Grab your tickets. He told you where to find them shits. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. And Vegas is a vibe. They got the vegan spots. Marijuana's legal. They got brothels and shit. Whatever y'all want. Vegas is the spot, boy. So that's going to be a vibe, man.
Yeah, it's people going to the Usher concert and everything. So it's going down.
Oh, yeah. Don't take your wife to that shit. If y'all don't take your wife to the Usher concert unless you can sing too, which I doubt y'all can sing better than Usher. But anyway, man, till next time, SamAnt, appreciate you, Bottz. Much love to you, bro. Much love to everybody in the chat who you know what I mean, who's sticking around. Anybody who comes in and checks this out. Crown Vega, I see you, my brother. Salute to you. Much love, man. We out of here. Peace.